Purgatory, Chapter 25. Duration of Purgatory. The Abbey of Latrobe. 100 years of suffering for delay in reception of the last sacraments. The following incident is related with authentic proof by the journal Le Monde and the number of April 1860. It took place in America, in the Abbey of the Benedictines, situated in the village of Latrobe. A series of apparitions occurred during the course of the year 1859. The American press took up the matter and treated those grave questions with its usual levity. In order to put a stop to scandal, the Abbot Wimmer, superior of the house, addressed the following letter to the newspapers. The following is a true statement of the case. In our Abbey of St. Vincent near Latrobe, on September 10, 1859, a novice saw an apparition of a Benedictine in full choir dress. This apparition was repeated every day from September 18th until November 19th, either at 11 o'clock at noon or at 2 o'clock in the morning. It was only on the 19th November that the novice interrogated the spirit in the presence of another member of the community and asked the motive of these apparitions. He replied that he had suffered for 77 years for having neglected to celebrate 7 masses of obligation, that he had already appeared at different times to 7 other Benedictines, but that he had not been heard, and that he would be obliged to appear again after 11 years if the novice did not come to his assistance. Finally, the spirit asked that these 7 masses might be celebrated for him. Moreover, the novice must remain in retreat for 7 days, keep strict silence, and during 30 days recite 3 times a day the Psalm Miserere, his feet bare, and his arms extended in the form of a cross. All the conditions were fulfilled between November 20th and December 25th. And on that day, after the celebration of the last Mass, the apparition disappeared. During that period, the spirit showed itself several times, exhorting the novice in the most urgent manner to pray for the souls in purgatory, for, said he, they suffer frightfully and are extremely grateful to those who cooperate in their deliverance. He added, sad to relate, that of the 5 priests who had died in our abbey, not one had yet entered heaven. All were suffering in purgatory. I do not draw any conclusion, but this is correct. This account, signed by the hand of the abbot, is an incontestable historical document. As regards the conclusion which the venerable prelate leaves us to draw, it is evident. Seeing that the religious is condemned to purgatory for 77 years, let it suffice for us to learn the necessity of reflecting on the duration of future punishment, as well for priests and religious as for the ordinary faithful living in the midst of the corruption of the world. A too frequent cause of the long continuance of purgatory is that many deprive themselves of a great means established by Jesus Christ for shortening it, by delaying, when dangerously sick, to receive the last sacraments. These sacraments, destined to prepare souls for the last journey, to purify them from the remains of sin, and to spare them the pains of the other life, require, in order to produce their effects, that the sick person receive them with the requisite dispositions. Now, the longer they are deferred and the faculties of the sick person allowed to become weak, the more defective do those dispositions become. What do I say? Very often it happens in consequence of this imprudent delay that a sick person dies deprived of this absolutely necessary help. The result is that if the disease is not damned, he is plunged into the deepest abyss of purgatory, loaded with all the weight of his debts. Michael Alix speaks of an ecclesiastic who, instead of promptly receiving the extreme unction, and therein giving a good example to the faithful, was guilty of negligence in this respect, and was punished by 100 years of purgatory. Knowing that he was seriously ill and in danger of death, these poor priests should have made known his condition, and immediately had recourse to the succours which the Mother Church reserves for her children in that supreme hour. He omitted to do so, and whether through an illusion common among sick people, he would not declare the gravity of his situation, or whether he was under the influence of that fatal prejudice which causes weak Christians to defer the reception of the last sacraments. He neither asked for nor thought of receiving them. But we know how death comes by stealth. The unfortunate man deferred so long that he died without having had the time to receive either the viaticum or extreme unction. Now God was pleased to make use of this circumstance to give a great warning to others. The deceased himself came to make known to a brother ecclesiastic that he was condemned to purgatory for 100 years. I am punished. I am thus punished, he said, for delaying to receive the grace of the last purification. Had I received the sacraments I ought to have done, I should have escaped death through the virtue of extreme unction, and I should have had time to do penance.